What is the difference between emotional investors and strategic investors?
So when you talk about emotion which comes into investment part, it creates a huge negative imbalance, I would say. So if the markets are falling down, so that means there is a fear in the market. And if the market is going up, there is greed in the market. Both are emotions. So when you act according to the emotions, you are certain to make losses. So I think emotional investors should stay away from risky assets. Strategic investors know what they are doing and they place their capital as per their risk appetite. So that's what.
What is the biggest mistake the investor make during uncertain times?
Absolutely, they try to time the market. They think that they are right, we will cut the loss, and I will at least be safe. During uncertain times, as I told my colleague, that if you are on board on an airplane which is 10,000 miles up and there is a turbulence, will you take the parachute and jump off the plane? You will not. You will rather wait and have trust on the pilot and sail through the uncertain times. So whenever it is uncertain, you have to be quiet, you have to understand the trends of the market, because if you take an example of Dubai markets, whenever it was COVID, whenever it was Lehman, whenever it was interest rate crisis, yes, it went down. The recovery should be seen more than anything else. The recovery was a V-shaped recovery. So it fell and it went up within a span of very few months. So I would say there is nothing to panic about if your investments are set right.
Perfect. Is offline is good option now or secondary?
It depends on what you want. I think a mix of both is fine. But if you are looking to invest in a property whereas your capital is coming in bits and pieces, then I think off-plan is a brilliant strategy, because you are investing like a systematic investment plan. But provided you have to have the money till the payment is done. So do not miss any payments. For secondary investors, it is good anytime if the rental yield is somewhere 6 to 9%. I think Dubai does very well in that. So they can contact us. We have a huge list of secondary inventory, and you can wish to stay, you can be the end user, you can be a rental client. The options are open for both.
My client is asking about a mortgage property. What can I advise him?
So it depends on if he has already an off-plan property, because most of the banks are opening up their arms for a off-plan mortgage property, which is a phenomenal sign, so that it can help towards the liquidity of the client. Yes, we are a mortgage broker. We help clients doing mortgages. If he's a non-resident, if he's a salaried, if he's a self-employed, if he's having off-plan investments, absolutely, because mortgage is the right gearing of your assets, where you park some of the money, banks give you a facility, and overall you make the money which makes sense towards the market.
Perfect. If a client have a multiple property and all in rent, how can we get in equity release?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So most of the banks, the commercial banks, I would say, draws you down 7 years of rental as a loan. So say your client or our client has 10 properties, and 10 of the properties are giving a rental of X at the end of the year. We present the profile to the bank. We ask for all the documents like the ijaris and everything, and we can give him a loan up to 7 times the annual rent, combining all the properties. So say, let me give you in numbers. So if one office property is giving 100,000 rent a year, so we can lend him 700,000 dirhams towards that property basis the rent. That is how banks calculate it. If you have multiple properties, we can look at his drawable income, his consistency, his paperwork, his compliance. I think that's a phenomenal strategy where he can deploy that capital to buy more and put them for rent, and it circulates, the cycle goes on.